Let's go! Are you kidding me? Joe Burrow, the run? First touchdown ever! If you missed it, here you go.
Here comes Bosa. Here comes the quarterback, Burrow. Looking for a block, and he got it up in the front by Hopkins into the end zone. Touchdown! What a scamper!
Doesn't that run look kind of familiar? Oh, yeah, on this very show, YouTube channel, whatever you call it. Yeah, on this very channel, hey, we did a full breakdown of this exact play against Clemson in the national championship game.
Burrow takes off and gets in the clear, gets a block, makes a cut, and is knocked out at the 5. That's gutsy without a timeout.
Which LSU did on 3rd and 10 with no timeouts, 21 seconds left to go in the first half. It's my favorite play of Joe Burrow's career, my favorite LSU play ever, because the play call took some serious cojones, right? So let's dive into a quick film study to show you how both of those plays were legit the exact same thing, from the offensive alignment to the defensive alignment as well. And as we dive into this film study, boom! 400 subscribers. Are you kidding me? 400? You know what that means? Live stream. Yes. So let's see. Let's take a look at this busy schedule. I don't have a busy schedule. I just sit at home and watch football. Let's do it this week. Why not? September 16th, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central. Okay? Mark it down. Let's go! Are you kidding me? When I saw this actually become Joe Burrow's first touchdown, I immediately thought of you, because we did that super long film study where we talked to coaches behind the scenes about the famous Clemson run. And I would not be shocked if the Bengals actually pulled this exact play from Clemson, because guess what? It's not only the same offensive formation, but the same defensive front alignment that Clemson was in as well. So let's go ahead and run this play again. Quarterback draw. And the only difference is that Clemson actually brought a middle linebacker blitz. But outside of that, this is essentially basically the same thing. Go crazy, T. Higgins. I'm sorry you were on the wrong end of the other run. Let's get to it. So here we are, Bengals fans. This is going to be so cool. You're going to get chills because Joe Burrow is going to be your super franchise quarterback. And you're going to look and see that Joe Burrow actually runs towards the sidelines. But it's basically the same concept. 5 wide, empty box. Skowski, the blitzer here. Basically the same thing, same part of the field, except this one doesn't go for a touchdown. Even though this run was longer, it was 29 yards compared to 23. But like we say on this channel, the only real way to watch line play is from the end zone cam. So let's take a look at the end zone cam on both of these plays. Let's go. So the first thing you notice, and this is why I thought that they pulled it from the Clemson play, is both of these A gaps are open. Both defensive tackles are in a 3-tech right here. So as many of you know, the Chargers do have a very good defensive line, probably the best pass rushing duo in all the NFL with Ingram and Bosa, and Cincinnati's offensive line hopefully will get better this year. Now, take a look at this formation. This has quarterback draw written all over it. The only difference, as I'll show you, is there's no middle linebacker here. But let's take a look before we run the footage here of the Clemson front. And as you can see here, it's basically the same thing. 2-3 techniques, which opens up wide open space here. All you got to do is beat the middle linebacker. The center has to block the middle linebacker. And if you're able to do that, you're going to get yourself a big gain. Let's go. So we're back here to the Chargers formation. And as CBS shows you, they're letting these pass rushers go upfield. wide open lane. And this is very interesting here. Joe Burrow, and no one wanted to believe me. I went on so many podcasts talking about Joe Burrow. He is such a smart runner. Last year, Joe Burrow in 15 games ran for more yards than Russell Wilson, one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the NFL, in 16 games. And in fact, they're very similar runners. They're very patient, smart runners. And, Joe Burrow, if he would have ran a 40, he probably would have been in the 4.6 range. Just take a look at this. He's so creative. He's so smart. He lets this block set itself up, and then he reads which way the safety was going to take on this center, and he decided to go in this direction. And because he paused and the safety was right here, was coming at full speed, it wrong-footed him, which is why Joe Burrow was able to walk in basically untouched. And as you can see here, Joe Burrow once again makes a very smart read. And he noticed that this pass rusher, Isaiah Simmons, started floating this way. Also, LSU had no timeouts, so he wanted to get out of bounds so LSU could stop the clock and run a good play. Once again, Cincinnati fans that aren't familiar, this was 3rd and 10 with no timeouts. LSU came out of a timeout to call this play. If they don't get the first down, more than likely the clock runs out. 21-17. If you don't get the first down here, it's basically the only opportunity to get points. LSU called this play. And boom. And what's interesting here is, unlike the Cincinnati run, Joe Burrow makes a different cut. Now, he could have kept going this way, but I'm guessing running towards the side. In fact, Joe Burrow's brother commented on this video on Twitter. He believes his brother ran in this direction so he can get out of bounds. That makes a lot of sense. And instead of just rolling this play up this way, he decides to run towards the sidelines. But basically, it's the same exact play because you have these two open A gaps right here. Both these defensive tackles are getting washed upfield, including the Mike linebacker here. And once again, it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And then a smart cut to get out of bounds. Obviously, the clock stops on first downs, but this gives you the opportunity to run up and not have to burn a timeout. And you'll see what happens. I'm just going to go in and show you. On the very next play, while he's getting hit, touchdown. Gave LSU an 11-point lead. So that play, that 29-yard run, that play call, this was after LSU was down 17-7 to start the game, to score 21 unanswered. And on that drive was just crazy. And LSU fans, I know you're used to hearing this, but for Clemson fans that don't know, LSU, that was a 14-play drive that started at their own 5 or 10-yard line. And Joe Burrow orchestrated it against a Clemson defense. Now, yes, there was 28 points scored in the first half, but Clemson's defense forced them to punt 4 times. So it wasn't the smoothest drive for LSU, but that's what I love about Joe Burrow, is that he figures a way out of it all the time. So, that just gave me chills. I wanted to do a quick video showing those plays, and that just makes me so happy, not only for my viewers, but to see how that translated from LSU to the NFL level is just absolutely crazy. Now, obviously, Joe Burrow has a long way to go. This wasn't his best game as a professional, but it was his first game. So, I'm interested to see what Cincinnati does going forward, because I said this, and every freaking show that I went on said, hey, the Joe Burrow, athletically, it's going to be way tougher in the NFL. Well, Joe Burrow's a heck of an athlete. He is a true dual-threat quarterback, and it's fun to see. So, what a film study. Why did I have to, float in? Anyway, obviously the game didn't turn out the way that we probably wanted it to. Joe Burrow, really? An offensive pass interference call on the great A.J. Green, right? You can't call that. Anyway, Joe Burrow's numbers were 23 of 36, 193, and an INT, and obviously just that rushing touchdown, 16 to 13. But let's be honest, you saw the greatness, you saw the swagger, you saw the Bengals with the new energy. So, yeah, I'm all in. Joe Burrow's going to be a stud for Cincy. So, yeah, this was a fun video. I enjoyed coming back to that play. And if you, once again, want to see the full film study with our sources that actually went into the play call, that actually gave us some behind-the-scenes info. So if you want to watch the full Steve Ensminger play call film study on that 29-yard run, you can find it in the link. You can find it in the description below. Let's go to Ed. Hey, yes, do the video of the underrated players. So in our last video, I was talking about the underrated LSU commit for the class of 2021. I promise you I will do that video. I am doing a deep film study on him right now, and trust me, you're going to love it. Joel said the same thing, so I guess we have to do it now because Joel said so. Let's talk about Brandon's comment. Getting Mason Smith and Corey Foreman would be two huge pickups for LSU. Yeah. Now, I will say this, all right? We do have some sources here. Our boy DBU says that he's got info that Mason nor Corey wants to play in a three-man front, which is what Georgia plays. They want to be in a 4-3, which actually makes a lot of sense. They're both more 4-3-ish type of players. Corey Foreman's not one of the stand-up defensive ends in the mold of, let's say, a Landon Jackson. He's a little bit more traditional. Same thing with Mason Smith. Where he would shine the most is as a 3-tech or a 1-tech. So, yeah, I can kind of sort of see that. I don't know either one of them personally, but it makes sense. So, DB, I'm going to trust you on that one because you've been with us for so long. One more thing, yes, we are at 400 subs, and yes, we will have the live stream coming up, but this is key, okay? We really need to get to 1,000, and I know that seems crazy, but I think we can do it. If we get to 1,000 subs, that means I start getting paid by YouTube to post on their platform. So, tell everyone to sub, tell everyone to watch, share the video. That's the best way you could support us. It's Power Hour LSU. Boom. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, yeah. Sounds like a cauliflower pizza kind of night. Let's get it going.